Well, hello and welcome back to another video. But I've got another little television here that is of interest, and it's this set here, and this has been in my family's ownership from new, from 1971. Not a vast age. Well, I say not a vast age. It's what 51 years old now, and it's quite an interesting little set, really. It's a Teleton, and it's a Teleton dual standard. It's a TA stroke 12DU, and quite an interesting little set because my parents were very keen touring caravanners. When I was a child, we went off everywhere with a touring caravan, and I suppose it was probably as much me that, kicked up and said, well, yeah, we're going all over these places and I'm, missing, seeing television. I grew up in the television age, although I hardly watch any television now. Back then, there were certain programs that I wouldn't have wanted to miss. So my dad made a special trip right up to Hull to buy this set. I remember I think it was the winter of 1971. And it's the only place he could find one. And why he wanted this set was because it's a UHF, got a UHF tuner on, but it also had still got a VHF 405 tuner on as well. So it was a dual standard. And obviously, if you're going to remote parts of the country, as we did, very often you'd still get, in the 70s, you'd still get a better picture on the VHF 405 line than the UHF. I think later on we touring caravan right through to the sort of mid to late 70s. Before I was old enough and got into more boats. We did later on have a UHF aerial on the A-frame, that came in a kit and you put it up. But a great little set. It's never ever been repaired in its life. It's mains and 12 volt. It can run off a 12 volt car battery. Came in very useful the following year in this country in 1972, for those that are old enough to remember. In 72 we had, and 73 and thereon, or I think was it more 74? Time goes so quickly, doesn't it? The early 70s, let's say, we had quite an economic crisis. We had the 3-day week, we had power cuts, and obviously that was more in the winter time when we didn't touring caravan. So we had our leisure 12 volt leisure battery at home in a box. So often this was taken inside in the house and connected to the battery when we had a power cut. And, I was still able to watch such programs as the Sweeney or Blue Peter or whatever. And it served its purpose very well at that particular point in time. But a great little set. As I say, I well remember on trips, we used to go a lot of times to the East Coast, because it's not a million miles from here, and it's very doable in a weekend. And places like, if we were lucky and we sometimes knew the site owner. It was a static caravan site, but he used to let a few touring caravans in the summer months. He used to hide them round the site. I don't think he was licensed for any touring caravans, but it was all money in his pocket, particularly cash. And he would let us stay on his static caravan site right on the cliff top at East Runton, between Cromer and Sheringham. And also we used to go to quite a posh caravan club site right on the beach at Kessingland in Suffolk, down just below Lowestoft. And both those places was quite interesting. With this set, under certain conditions, I could quite easily get Dutch television on it, which really, you know, as 13, 14-year-old, it really fascinated me, that did. And I know one time particularly, we were stopping, as I say, on this clifftop site at East Runton, and I watched, for anyone old enough again, in the summer there used to be Jeux Sans Frontières, which was like the European version of our It's a Knockout, that silly crazy programme. And it came once, the European version, as from Northampton. It was in down in a big park in Northampton. The BBC recorded it and didn't show it on the night. But strangely enough, obviously it was school holidays. I was in the caravan at East Runton, you know, twizzling about and playing about with this, and I got this, was just a favourable, you know, it was good conditions again. You had to have the right conditions, and as I've said before, broadcasting is all about line of sight. So the sea is flat, and the next country from there is basically Holland across the North Sea, or one of the countries. And on that particular night, I got Dutch television, and they were putting out Jeux Sans Frontières live from Northampton. So I was able to watch it quite bizarrely before anybody in the country had seen it or knew who had won. And it's quite interesting. So yeah, great little set. And this has been, I've forgotten, I thought we'd thrown this set out, as people did, you know, when we stopped touring caravanning. It's gone very, I was going to ask anyone, any ideas for cleaning discoloured plastic? It's gone, I will zoom in a bit on it and show you, it's gone very yellow, as old plastic does. This has been in a cupboard. We did have it for a few years as a little kitchen set. It was, you know, on a worktop in a kitchen, so it got quite, you know, messed up in, and it wants a good clean, and I haven't done nothing to it yet. And as I say, it's been sat in a cupboard, buried deep in a really big cupboard, and I didn't even realise we'd got it. I went in the cupboard to looking for something else, and I saw this and thought, oh, I must get the old Teleton dual standard out. And so I did. And of course, being as inquisitive as ever, I thought to myself, I wonder whether the old thing would still work. So there we go. You can see, obviously I'm going to clean it. I will take the back. I'm not going to have it on long like this because I haven't done any checks on it or anything as yet. We might have a look at, I might do another video on this of, you know, seeing what the capacitors look like in the back of it. I mean, there must be some life expired capacitors, I think, in this set. But there we go. That's as found, switched on, running on channel 4 VHF, which is the old Midland channel here in the UK. And it's still giving, you know, quite a clear picture there. I mean, amazing, isn't it? It was a really good portable television in its day, and having the dual standard, it proved really, at that time, you know, going to different parts, you know, of the country. I know down in the southwest, Devon and Cornwall, we went quite a number of times. You know, the only television you could get down there on this was still, in those days, on the VHF 405 line system. You know, UHF was very patchy. It has somewhere got a hoop round antenna for the UHF, which has dropped off, and I haven't put it on yet. It did also have like that was the VHF aerial there. As like you say, it's got sockets to plug external aerials in as well. So yeah, I'm delighted that still works. So I'm going to clean it up. And if anybody does know a good way of cleaning or trying to revive plastic and get this you know, how it's gone dark and discoloured. I have, you know, read that some people use bleach, some people say other chemicals, but I don't like using a lot of chemicals. I've even heard people say baking soda might work, so that might be something to try. But obviously I've got to take the knobs off and unscrew it and split the cabinet, and we'll probably have a look at it then. But so yeah, I won't leave it running too long. So as always, my apologies again about the lack of videos. I'm going to be doing, you know, hopefully get doing some more again now. I've got plenty of, you know, more free time, I should say. And I hope you've all been keeping well, and thank you for the ongoing comments, and for everybody that has subscribed. I really do appreciate that. Please do think about subscribing. It does help us, little channels on YouTube, and gets us more known. And as I say, I hope you're doing all okay, and I will see you in a future video. And until then, my best wishes, and bye for now.